Visit Avery.com, Avary, for the most up-to-date news and information on Team Avery.
Avery, 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 Avery,
This is the Gala Show. I'm your reporter on the beat, Gala Avery. On this episode, you may know my guest as an actor who has played countless roles in everything from classic teen films like But I'm a Cheerleader, Can't Hardly Wait, and The Rules of Attraction, all the way to his newer adult flicks like Card Counter, Vanquish, Wild Indian, and The Comeback Trail. He's also a producer, and honestly an LA icon. But here on the Gala Show, I know him as the most well-connected man in all of LA, Joel Michaely. And I'm not kidding, Joel.
That is an intro and a half. Like, I want to meet that guy. Like, where is he?
Right here at this table.
In my kitchen, apparently, with my kitty cat, Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean's special guest, Jean Valjean. So
yeah, there's three of us here, so I think we need to acknowledge the kitty in the room.
We need a third mic so he can meow, meow. So before I bring up the topic for today, I have a question for you. Joel, what is your favorite movie?
That's a hard question, but what I usually say is All That Jazz.
I just watched that for the first time.
It's incredible. Didn't I tell you to watch that one time? I was like, you've never seen it?
But
it's playing tonight at the Egyptian.
I know.
And I watched it just 6 months ago in the theater. And I took a friend who had this crazy visceral reaction. He had a panic attack in the theater.
At what scene?
Kind of when he's like dealing with like all his heart issues and like life issues and
you mean like when they're doing
stuff,
like the script reading and he like the sound kind of
flashing
goes away?
Yeah, it was like between the sound and what was happening on the screen. Like he started having like an attack.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he got on meds after the movie. Like he could not recover from his panic attack. Wow. From watching All That Jazz.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh my goodness, how do I recommend this to people if it's giving people panic?
Are you going to take him back tonight?
No. I think he's terrified of the movie. But that is what I list as my favorite movie. I mean,
think
Roy Scheider is
so good in it.
Unbelievable. If you've only seen him in
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, or of course most people know him from Jaws.
Of course.
So
here I am saying Sorcerer.
If you've only seen him in Jaws, you haven't seen him.
No, he's so good in All That Jazz. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like other level playing field.
I've had so much All That Jazz in my life recently. It's so weird.
And the best part is when I like mention it to people, they all think it's like some like stupid like old school old timey musical or something, or they think it's like All That Jazz like the number in Chicago.
I mean, you know it's named after that. That's like what the movie's named after.
Yeah, but it's really dark and twisted and
yeah, it's dark and twisted and everyone should go watch that movie.
About a crazy womanizer.
I know.
So I'm like, straight guys should love it.
Especially in this day and age.
But every time I recommend it to them, they're always like, I'm not seeing a musical. And I'm like, it's not a musical.
What's up with straight guys like hating musicals? Did you notice that? Like that?
Yeah, it's a fascination for me. It's also like not even straight guys. It's just like it feels like the younger generation just has this like animosity towards musicals, and I feel like they're just not exposed in the proper fashion.
I agree.
So I'll meet people all the time. They're like, I don't like musicals, and I'm like, okay, well, what have you seen? And like, they can't really answer that, or they have seen like the most basic bitch shit ever on the planet, like not a good musical movie, not a good musical theater production, like nothing of the ilk. And so it's like, okay, well, let me help expose you.
Exactly. So now, as always, my guest gets to bring their topic to the mic. But Joel, why don't you tell us what your topic is and why you decided to choose it?
I don't have a topic.
I know we were talking beforehand, and Joel doesn't have a topic for today, but that doesn't matter because
I'm topic free. I'm topicless.
We're topicless. At this table, we don't really need a topic, I don't think, because I know
the
that
cat just knocked over my drink, so
he's not happy. He's like, I want attention.
But before we get into the topic, let's do a commercial break.
Back by popular demand, the Video Archives merch store is up and running. Get your favorite t-shirts, hats, notebooks, stickers, and more at videoarchivesmerch.com. You know me. I write all my notes in the Notes on Cinema notebook, the Gala edition, of course. Check out videoarchivesmerch.com to get yours today. Hey, thanks so much for being a loyal listener. If you want to keep up with me off mic, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Gala Avery.
And we're back. Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
Joel-
This feels very pressuresome with the clock.
I know some people feel pressure with the clock, and then some people are like they need the clock to stay
Right.
within
Copy
the lines.
that.
Like
Okay.
my dad needs the clock.
Do you know musicals like
Yeah, so-
TV?
well-
TV, theater, like other
Well,
things
I
besides
did.
just
So
film?
I did theater. I was like a theater kid.
Right.
And I did Barnum. I did Cats. I
Great.
did My Fair Lady. I did My Fair Lady twice. I did backstage and on stage. I did Little Shop of
Who
Horrors.
were you in My Fair Lady?
God, the old lady.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I know, 'cause I was like tall and older.
In Little Shop? Who were you in Little Shop?
Like some background character. I was like in
Okay.
like 6th grade. And then we did The Boyfriend, I think. But I was not in The Boyfriend. I just remember that we did it.
Like musical wise, I didn't do that many, not a ton, but I did like Pirates of Penzance.
I can see you doing musicals. Okay, but
I was the captain of the Pinafore,
of
you
course,
know?
of course. But when you say like a basic bitch musical, what is the first one that comes to mind? Because mine, this is terrible, is Grease. And it's probably just because I was listening to Grease in the car.
I mean, Grease is amazing.
That's why I don't think it's a basic bitch, but I do think
No,
it's like
because
one
I
of
think,
the basic
I mean, I love
musicals.
Grease and I love Grease 2. I don't know
Do
if
you
you've
really love
ever...
Grease 2?
Grease 2 is phenomenal.
I'm not a Grease 2 fan.
You're wrong. It is so campy and over the top and nutty putty and baby Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, who can go wrong with baby Michelle Pfeiffer? And some of the songs are ridiculous. They have songs called, one of the songs, Reproduction. It takes place in like a biology class about like teaching kids how to, you know, create babies.
Maybe I need to revisit this.
And there's a bowling song. It's literally ridiculous.
I might need to revisit this because...
Tab Hunter is the
Oh, and I love Tab
is
Hunter.
is the teacher in
love
the
Tab
classroom.
Hunter. I
It's
love
like
Tab.
it's bonkers.
Okay, what are the other basic bitch ones? I mean like I don't want to call any of them like basic. Like I don't want to call Phantom of the Opera basic. Is that even a musical technically? It's an opera.
I think they think it's all like Phantom of the Opera, like very like super singy or like random
Rocky Horror
singing.
Picture Show.
Like I think a good musical comes from the songs come from like an emotional standpoint and like a moment where you can't express yourself except through song. Like it just takes you to the brink, and that's when they're good. It's not good when they're just random songs popping out of your mouth.
When like what's like the best musical then?
Oh my god!
I know that's a hard. It's
Best
one of my
musical
favorite genres.
movie?
Yeah, because it's one of my favorite genres.
I remember seeing Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and that movie just like dropping me to the floor, or seeing like Funny Girl for the first time.
Oh, Funny Girl's so good.
And at the time, I didn't understand Barbara Streisand. I was like, Barbara Streisand? I don't know. I don't get it. I think she's a good actress, but like, I didn't like know her music as a little kid or anything. And then I saw Funny Girl as an adult, and I was like, this is incredible, and this is other level shit, and like, I can't believe she's this talented. Like, how does somebody exist like this? She's such a one-of-a-kind talent tour de force in that film that you're like, oh, she's undeniable.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like,
And then I saw like Hello Dolly.
oh my god, yeah. Oh, and I think my brother did Oklahoma, and he did South Pacific, and he might have also done Hello Dolly, or I might have done. I did Backstage on Hello Dolly. I know that for sure. But no, I had a very very good like musical theater teacher, Mr. Andrew Street.
Yeah, my best. I had Doris Warren, Mrs. Warren. She was the best.
I know, and Mr. Street is like one of my all-time. I have like 2 or 3 favorite teachers, and he's like definitely one. I keep in touch with him
Mrs.
still.
Warren was my favorite.
Yeah.
She basically said that I could be a professional actor.
Really?
And
Is that how you
I
like
could-
you kind of like developed?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, she's trying not to play like favoritism, but then she also would like, you know, talk to kids and pull them aside and stuff. And it was like always the leads in every show was between me and somebody else, you know, and she would try and put me as the lead as often as possible. But she also was like really into like challenging me, so I couldn't rest on my laurels. Like certain things come just really naturally to me as a performer, and then certain things like you have to, you know, it takes a lot of character acting and character development to be like wildly different. And she was really good at making sure that I learned how to be wildly different than I am.
So how old were you?
I'm like a different personality by myself, let alone embodying it in somebody else, you know?
Yeah. So how old were you when you started acting?
Like professionally?
No, just like even like in school and stuff.
Oh, I mean, I came out of the womb being like...
like jazz hands?
I'm a performer, full jazz hands, let's sing, let's dance. And my parents were very anti it.
Really?
So they fought me like my entire life over it. It was very difficult because my natural inclination was to like go to singing classes and go to dance classes. When I was a kid, I could sing like really well, and I'd be like, I'm the best singer ever. Whitney Houston, kiss my ass. And I'd be like... doing like all the runs, like like crazy runs and crazy singing, and you know, it was not promoted in my house. It was like really discouraged, and so that's always been a problem for me as an actor to fight that within myself.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine
how I was
that.
Conditioned. It's really difficult. It's always been a fight and a struggle. And when I was a kid, I almost became a Mouseketeer.
Really?
I went like at Disneyland, and you know, it probably would have been with, I think it was, you know, the Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and all that stuff. They did like open calls, and I went down to the finals and the whole everything until my parents pulled me out of it. My grandma took me, but that's how good I could sing at the time. I was like kind of other level.
Wow, that's crazy.
And now I used to be able to be the best at like a karaoke, and like, you know, like tear the house down karaoke.
Yeah.
And now once like pandemic hit, I think like it affected my voice or COVID or something. And it's like now I don't even think I could rock a karaoke.
Really?
I mean,
I think you could. What was your karaoke song?
My karaoke go-to is All Night Long by Lionel Richie.
Oh my God. I want to hear you do that. I think you should get back into the karaoke.
I don't know about them apples.
Maybe like at home karaoke, like get a little machine.
But that's definitely my go-to song. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could be in a musical, would you do it?
Oh, 100%. That's like the dream. I would kill
Which
to be in
one?
a musical.
Like if there's an existing musical, because even I love new musicals too.
Obviously, I'd want to do Rent.
Oh my,
because it's just crazy, and I would kill to do Rent, and play Mark Cohen, but I would kill to do Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
And play Seymour.
Yeah, Suddenly Seymour.
Yeah, Suddenly Seymour is like one of the best duet songs, period, let alone a musical theater.
I sing that in the car like all the time. I'm like, I'm every role.
It's so good. I don't know if anyone listening has seen this, but have you seen on YouTube, there are videos of Jake Gyllenhaal doing Little Shop of Horrors with Ellen Greene, the original Audrey from the movies, and he did the play and everything, and they are both incredible.
And he's playing Seymour.
And he's playing Seymour, and he sings his face off, and he's hilarious. And I don't know, Jake's, in my opinion, Jake is an amazing character actor stuck in a leading man body, and he's worked really hard to do like all this incredible theater work. And I don't know if people know that, but he like challenges himself. It seems
I didn't know that he was doing theater work.
Almost every other year he goes to Broadway and like does like theater or like some show like Constellations, or he did what's the Sondheim musical that he did?
I don't know.
Oh my God, him and Annalee Ashford.
Oh my God, I have to look this up. I did not know that Jake Gyllenhaal was doing. I did
God.
not know that Jake Gyllenhaal was doing musicals on Broadway.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Because I think he's an amazing actor, and I think you're so right. Like a character actor stuck in a leading man's body, because there are. In this day and age, in this climate of actor, I'm just gonna say there's not that many like actors anymore.
Correct. In my opinion, he's one of the only in the younger generation that can actually like act. That's like a movie star.
Yeah, and I'm gonna also be honest. Most people don't even consider that the younger generation anymore. Like, I guess Timothy Chalamet is like the younger generation.
Sure, yeah.
But
he has a theater background too.
Yeah.
And a musical background.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked Wonka. Is that weird?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
I can't believe you're admitting that.
I can't. Well, I did.
I saw Wonka and I was like, but you know what I like?
I kind of bizarrely really liked Wonka. I was in a good mood, I guess, and I walked out of.
So you saw it in theaters.
What was the Luca movie that he did with the
Call Me by
vampire?
Your Name. No, not Call Me by Your Name. That's the other.
No, the vampire one.
The vampire one.
Yeah, they're like eating bodies and stuff.
What?
And it was like him and
who else is in it? Luca Guadagnino did a vampire movie where he's eating.
What are you talking about? You don't know?
No, I don't. Not Nosferatu. That's not him. That's Robert Eggers, right? That's coming out soon.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. Now Eggers, I think, is one of the best directors out there right now.
No, I do too. I think his stuff
He's
is
also
actually
an incredibly cool, nice guy. I don't know
is he
if
really?
you've met him before.
Oh, I love hearing that people are nice
Oh my
guys.
god, he's like the best. He's like down to earth. He's funny. He's cool. He gets it. Love him.
What about Wonka? Did you like that? Did you like that he was like so over the top? Like,
I guess I was in a good mood.
You know what I love?
don't know. I've been made fun of for liking it, and that's okay.
I'm not
gonna
gonna make fun of you because
You can.
because I don't want to get made fun of for like Sonic is like my favorite movie of that year.
Sonic?
Yeah, I love the Sonic movie.
No.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can, and
You
I have,
can't.
and I will.
No.
Everyone knows I love the Sonic movies. I saw The Beekeeper. I loved The Beekeeper this year.
Well, that's Jason Statham,
Yeah,
right?
I love Jason Statham.
I have a place in my heart for old Jason Statham movies.
Well, you
I
should
don't
have
know,
a
I
place
just
in your heart
kinda
for the
love
new
him.
one,
I think
too.
he's great. Bones and All, it was called.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I walked out. It was really no bueno.
It did not look great. So
No, and it had like Mark Rylance, which gets me like so excited because like, talk about a great theater actor.
That's the thing. Also, is like I feel
He's like the best living Shakespearean actor. Him and Ian McKellen.
What about Patrick
Sir
Stewart?
Ian McKellen.
What about
And
Sir
Kenneth Branagh.
and Sir Patrick Stewart?
And sure, but I would put him. I would put him behind them.
I love the word.
I
The
can
word
order
sure.
them.
When you say the word sure, you're like, yeah, no, you're wrong.
Sure.
Sure, Gala. You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know, Gala.
Okay, so how would you order them then?
Out of those Shakespearean actors, I mean, you have to give Sir Ian number one.
Okay, so Sir Ian McKellen.
I'd say then Mark Rylance.
Okay, well
This
we're
is
gonna
just
give
Shakespeare.
We're gonna give him Sir though. We're gonna give Sir Mark
I don't
Rylance.
think he's not a Sir.
In this table
hasn't
he
been
is.
knighted.
At this table he has been.
fine. Sir Mark Rylance. I think is Kenneth Branagh a Sir?
He is here. He is now.
He is now, and then Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh. Okay, it's funny.
Those are the ones.
Because I think I love Star Trek because like my dad.
Oh yeah.
For those that are listening and like somehow don't know, but like I basically like I've known Joel my entire life.
Yeah, since we
Like,
shot Rules of Attraction.
And my mom today, because I told my mom that I was like gonna come and see you, and she was so excited. And she's like, I think I have pictures somewhere of you and Joel on set
Oh,
from
yeah,
Rules
for
of
sure.
Attraction.
Definitely.
Because I know I have ones with Jay Baruchel, and I know I have a few with you on set, and it's like. You are like one of my like family members. Like I have a few family members in LA, and like you're one of them. You are one of my.
I love that. That makes me
family
so
members.
happy. Your mom is the best.
I know, and so my mom was so happy I was going to come and see you today, and we
And
were.
your dad, the whole
Yeah,
family is great.
That's the thing, and so it's like I love you, Joel. That's just all I have to say. And I do think
I
you're.
love you too. I love
great.
all Team Avery for life.
Yay, but it's just like. That's how I know Joel is through Rules of Attraction.
Yeah.
And like it was so much fun on set, and
Which, what were you gonna say?
I was just thinking, actually, to be honest, I just thought back to the scene that you're in where Jay Baruchel's overdosed in the back of the car. And it's just so funny.
It's so awesome, and I'm like flipping out.
I know. I want to watch it again. It's like one of my...
I wish they would screen it at the New Bev soon. I know your dad won't let them until he does it on his own terms, right?
Spoiler alert, I think that we're going to have a screening soon. Maybe at the Vista, actually, though.
Oh, wow.
And so when that happens, I know you're coming. There's no
for
question
sure.
about that.
Do we know what month? Off
No,
mic?
No, we don't. Not yet.
I just want to make sure I'm in town.
No, I will make sure you're in town. I will...
Because I'm like traveling so much.
No, I don't think it's going to be like soon. I don't...
Okay,
Do you have a
okay.
Galaxy Quest box up there in your kitchen?
I do.
What is that?
Quest. Wait, what is that? Where are you looking at?
It's all the way at the top. We're in Joel's kitchen. Joel lives in this like beautiful house, like this beautiful apartment, and it's all painted and all colored, and the kitchen is like blue
pretty
and yellow.
wild.
It is wild.
The floors are painted. The walls are all like 75 different
Joel
colors.
did not do it himself, but
Did not do it. If the landlord said an amazing artist lived here, she's like, oh, an amazing artist lived there. And then the neighbor was like, yeah, he was a meth head, and he would just paint all night long. So you could see like 10 layers of paint under everything. Look there. Look on the cabinet.
I do. Oh my God,
you
the
see
red.
the red at the top, and then do you see the green
oh my God, I wish that
along with the blue and the orange?
more meth heads would just paint.
Yeah, it's a good use of meth head time. We
Talent.
should, instead of arresting them,
Just give them a paintbrush.
yeah, let's give them paintbrushes.
Let them
and they
paint-
can make
paint over
everything
the graffiti.
beautiful.
Paint over the graffiti. Wow, we just had an idea to
Yeah,
save
we
LA.
just save the world.
How long have you been in LA? Are you from LA?
I'm from LA. My mom went into labor with me at Canner's Deli.
Okay, so you
Literally
are from
eating
LA.
a pastrami, water broke, and I'm like, what up, world?
Literally, you
Like-
came out of the womb.
And I was like, I'm ready to act. Let's sing. Let's
Wow,
dance.
like you are like born, bred, raised,
Yeah,
lived
my parents
from.
lived at Melrose and Detroit, which is like Melrose and La Brea, which is literally right behind the New Bev. Mm-hmm. So
So like you're basically from the New Bev because you're home.
Beverly and La
That's
Brea.
why you're there all the time.
That's why I'm there all the time. And yeah, and then I grew up primarily in like Encino and Malibu.
Yeah.
And then I went to USC.
Yeah, so you are like literally from LA.
Yeah.
How do you think the city's changed? A lot?
I mean, that is a worded question.
Well, do you think it's changed though?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I think everything changes though.
Everything changes and evolves. I do not think the city has changed for the good.
Yeah.
I think it has gotten significantly worse. I think it's,
Yeah.
I don't know. They need to fight crime here, and they don't.
Yeah, I agree with
Really
that.
weird. They need to,
They need to protect the citizens.
yeah. Because I feel like I used to never hear about, like, crime happening in the city. Like, it felt like this, like, bizarre utopia. And
Yeah.
then now I feel like it affects, like, every friend, every single person I know. Like, some sort of something
Has
really
happened, yeah.
wacky, off the wall, and dangerous and scary.
Well,
has occurred.
you probably know Andy Milburn because he did the music. Tom and Andy did the
Yeah,
music. Yeah,
of
so
course.
Andy's my godfather,
Uh-huh.
and his partner Scott used to do this podcast where he would just walk around downtown Los Angeles. He's from New York originally, or no, he's actually from Houston originally, then lived in New York and now here. But he used to do this podcast where he would walk around Los Angeles and actually speak to homeless people, and he would just interview them. And this was like 10 years ago maybe. And the interviews are super, super
Well, it's
interesting.
fascinating. I'm always like, they all have their own stories.
Yeah, and so-
nobody like ended up there without trauma and something bad happening. So
Exactly.
we have to be empathetic,
Exactly.
but we also have to be productive.
Well, he
you know?
used to go interview them, and now it's like he used to walk around LA at night, and he was not afraid, and now it's like he cannot walk around LA, and
I mean,
it's sad.
I used to give food to the homeless almost nightly.
Yeah.
I would give all my leftovers or anything that I went out and
Yeah.
ate. I would always give it literally almost nightly. And now I don't do it as much as I used to because sometimes I fear for my safety.
Yeah, it's volatile.
Yeah,
So-
I still do it. I get
No,
yelled at for doing it, but
Who yells at you?
I've had friends like yell at me. They're like, "Don't give them that." I'm like, "Well, you're supposed to like."
Well, actually, it's
You want to give people like the opportunity to survive
Yeah.
and exist,
well,
like to
I
better themselves, or
yeah, I interviewed these two like vegan food bloggers, and they're like, we're gonna go make Impossible Burgers and like hand them out to the homeless, and I think that's great.
Same.
But I told her because it's a boyfriend and girlfriend, and I said, you cannot be the one handing out the burgers in the middle of the night. He should be the one handing out the burgers in the middle of the night. And they're like, really? You think so? I'm like, yes, I think so. It might sound sexist, but it's just safety. And that's just how I feel about that. So I do think the city's changed, but it's funny. Like we were talking about Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach before we started recording, and like the beach cities have completely changed since I lived there as a kid.
yeah, I don't know that area that well.
Really? You don't?
Yeah,
You should hang out there a little bit. It might be fun. The
Maybe.
beaches are really, really clean.
I'm gonna stick to like my West Hollywood bubble.
Yeah, you're my bubble. Where's your favorite place in LA to hang out then?
San Vicente Bungalows.
Oh my god. Okay, someone has expensive taste. Someone has expensive bougie taste here.
I didn't say my favorite restaurant.
No, just your favorite place.
Restaurant is Dantana's.
Okay.
And a barbecue joint in the valley called the Rib Ranch in Woodland Hills.
The Rib Ranch.
It's in Woodland Hills. I will drive from the city. And
Do you
get the
wear
best
like cowboy
barbecue
boots and like a hat?
ever.
Do you cosplay when you go there?
No. First off, I have a massive head. Nothing's going to fit on it.
Joel.
And do they make cowboy boots in size 14 shoes? Because like,
You have a size 14 shoe?
I'm a monster.
Oh my god.
It's so hard to get shoes that fit, feel comfortable, are okay.
God, my dad's friend, when he was still alive, he had like a size, I think like 15 or 16 shoe.
Oh, wow.
And he had to get custom made shoes.
Yeah.
And he would get like custom made sneakers because he couldn't find shoes.
I mean, most shoes just stop at 12.
That's
so it's
crazy. You have a size 14 shoe?
It's so rough. You don't even understand. It's such a pain.
It's the hardest
As
thing
a kid,
in life.
I thought it was like so cool because I was like 11 at 11, 12 at 12, 13 at 13,
And then all of a
14
sudden
at
you're
14.
14.
And then when I hit 15, I was like, am I going to be 15 and 15? And then I stopped. I stopped height-wise as well at like 14. Like everything just stopped growing by like 14.
Wow.
So at like 14, I was like the tallest in my class. And by the time I graduated, I was not the tallest in my class.
But you still had size 14 shoes.
Yeah.
So you had
Because I'm only like 6 feet tall, like a little
only
over 6
you know
feet.
that's like above the average.
Sure. But I thought I was like massively tall and was gonna be really tall. And then then there was of course other kids in school that were 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
More,
Yeah, more tall.
more tall.
So I want to know
Taller.
though. No, more taller. Can I English? Nope. That's the answer is
More
no.
tolerable.
So how did you meet my dad? Did you guys meet through like casting?
Oh yeah. I mean, so Rules of Attraction was my favorite book, the Bret Easton Ellis
Really, it
novel.
was your favorite book.
Yeah, before I got the movie. And I read the book with my best high school girlfriend. We read it out loud because you know how the book, it's like each
Yeah.
character has like their own chapters.
yeah.
So I read all the boy characters out loud and she read all the women characters out loud.
Wow.
And we were like obsessed with the book. And so when they were casting the movie, I was like, this is my favorite book. I have to be in this movie. Like, I have to be in this movie. And I was like, became super obsessed with it. And I was trying to get an audition and I couldn't get an audition. And they said that they wouldn't see me.
Wow.
At first. They were like, we know who Joel is because But I'm a Cheerleader had come out and Can't Hardly Wait had already come out. And they're like, he's too sweet. He's like so sweet. They're like, we need like, a capital B bitch in this role. Like he's got to be like really rule the school. Think he's like all that in a bag of chips, and just like be.
I can't
really...
imagine you not being a capital B bitch. Sorry.
I know, but my character But I'm a Cheerleader is like really kind of like sweet and soft and like lost and confused and like.
For sure.
Everything Raymond in Rules of Attraction is not.
Yeah.
So I get it. They were like, no, he's not right. We won't see him. And I was like, just read me. No, we wanted to see him. And then I don't know what possessed me because sometimes you get, a lot of times I get scared to, sometimes make moves and ask favors or whatever. And basically because I did But I'm a Cheerleader, I knew everyone at Lionsgate really well because Michael Burns produced But I'm a Cheerleader and is the greatest guy ever. And I love him to pieces. And he bought Lionsgate and like took over Lionsgate and then released But I'm a Cheerleader. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? So then I knew Michael Burns and I knew Mark Butan and I called Mark Butan.
Yeah, Mark Butan, yeah.
At the time, and I said, hey, Rules of Attraction is my favorite movie, my favorite book ever. I have to be in this movie. He's like, I cannot get you in this movie. Nobody here can get you in this movie. He's like, but I can get you an audition. And he did, and that changed my life, Amazing. So basically, then I got the audition, and I went in there, and I read for Rick Montgomery, who's so awesome.
Yeah, Rick is great.
And your dad, who is obviously my favoritin.
He's also my favorite.
And Greg Shapiro, who was who's
yeah.
awesome, who became like one of my bestest friends right after the movie for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And I read for them, and I was in the room, and I'll never forget this. So I'm reading, and I read the first scene or half the first scene, and Greg stopped the audition, and he was like, I got to take a call in the other room. And I was like, do you want me to wait for you? We can wait. Let's all wait for Greg. Like, I was like really like bitchy about it. And it was like, I was like, no, take your time. I'll stay here. Like, let's read more afterwards. And I think that was like a part of the thing that they were like, wow, he like is this character.
That is also, that's like really Greg, to be honest. That is so
like,
Greg.
I gotta go take this call. You don't mind if I leave for the next room? I was like, yeah, I kind of do mind, and I think you should stay. and I like
God.
made him stay.
I can't believe he actually stayed. He didn't take the call.
Yeah, I think he went out for like a second, and then he came. I can't fully remember. It's
But you got the role.
Yeah, and then I got the role.
Thank God that someone had to call Greg.
And I remember your dad telling me he was like, you were the fastest approval from the studio because they.
Oh, because they knew you.
Yeah, because they knew me. So
that's so great.
And I was like, wow, really? I was the fastest approval?
I feel so
but
good.
Then, your dad didn't know where he wanted to put me.
Oh, really?
He couldn't decide if I was going to be Raymond or Harry or Donald.
Oh, that's so funny. Who did you read for? Did you read
Raymond.
for Raymond? Of course you read for Raymond. Yeah.
And I got there, and he hadn't hired anyone else yet. He hadn't hired...
Jay. Yeah. No, Jay Baylor.
Yeah, he hadn't hired Jay yet,
Yeah.
and he hadn't, and Colin. He hasn't hired. He didn't hire them yet. And I was like, and he was like, I don't know. I'm thinking I might put you as Harry. I was like, no, I am Raymond. He's like, you got to let me make this decision. And I was like, I am telling you that this is my destiny. I know this book inside out, backwards and forward. Like, you have to let me play this role. Like, I am Raymond. I said it. I pulled Greg over. I said it to Greg. And Greg's like, Roger has the final decision. He hasn't decided yet. He knows that he wants you as one of the three, but he hasn't decided yet. And I was like, no, it's mine. And then finally your dad was like, okay, Raymond is yours. It's yours. And I was like, oh, thank fuck.
How different do you think it would have been if you had not been Raymond?
It would have made my life completely different.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Wow. Because I don't think the other roles were as strong of roles and not as showy. And I think, it was just, I don't know. I think my whole life would have been different.
Yeah. I mean,
not a good way. Like,
I'm glad that you were Raymond. You were meant to be.
Well, you got to see the cafeteria sequence, right?
Yes. I did.
The cafeteria sequence is the best.
The funny thing, there's several things in Rules of Attraction that have been cut out, like, completely.
Yeah, cafeteria sequence.
The cafeteria
which
sequence.
I saw that screening.
Yeah, and then also there's there's a moment.
It's like a teardown in this cafeteria sequence. I love it.
Yeah, and there's also
a
moment.
Want it out there in the world.
Dad still has it, obviously. I mean, like,
He said he did, and he didn't.
I think he does. Well, God, my dad has so many hard drives. He has it somewhere. He has it somewhere. I know that. But there's also a moment, because I remember I asked Dad, because when I last rewatched it, I was like, Dad, isn't there a moment where Eric Stoltz, who's playing Lance Lawson, is like having sex and he puts down a photograph? And my dad's like, yeah, that's not in there anymore. And I was like, it's a picture of my little brother. Oh. And he's making a stink face. And because he has the photo, because the photos of the family for Lance Lawson are my mom, my brother, and I.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And we have a version with Eric Stoltz, and we have a version with my dad. Oh. And so we have the photos, but it's so funny because it's like if you see his family, the wife of Lance Lawson in the movie is my mom. Oh, and so like when you see those photos and people see him.
Eric Stoltz was so fun to work with. When we did the cafeteria sequence, I got in a huge food fight with him. I started.
Oh my God.
We were having so fun. We were literally like running around the cafeteria, like pegging each other with food and laughing. God.
They should do a Criterion of that. I think that's like a movie that's...
The cafeteria scene has to be in there. Adam Brody was in the cafeteria sequence.
I know, isn't it crazy?
He's so great. He was great in it even then. He's always been great.
I think like it's funny because actually people have asked me like, why isn't there a Criterion? I talked with Dad about this and he's like, but like, he literally was like, but why should there be? I was like, because
I think people love it.
Because people love this movie. I love this movie.
I think like edgy, cool young people like are always obsessed with Rules of Attraction. Like I can always tell when somebody comes up to me and knows that I'm an actor and says something, like I could tell by how they look and their vibe.
Which movie?
Movies.
Which movie is it usually?
I get, but I'm a cheerleader, like,
Of course.
every day of my life.
It was so funny because I saw But I'm a Cheerleader, of course, after Rules of Attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, you're always Rules of Attraction. You're always
Right.
Joel on set.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always going to know you as that. But it was such like a whiplash, like seeing you in a completely different role in that, because like I know you as you are in Rules, and then like I know you in person, and then I saw that, I'm like, okay, he's acting. Like, he's doing that. But no, I mean, I think Rules of Attraction is definitely a movie that was like completely misunderstood when it first came out.
100 million gazillion %.
And I think it now
I think
has
I always
a
do
following.
movies that are misunderstood when they come out, and they
Yeah.
all get like cult followings. I mean, But I'm a Cheerleader, I think, has like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No
I
way.
think.
Really?
I think it only had. I think Roger Ebert was the only person that liked But I'm a Cheerleader, and he was
Really?
at the Toronto Film Festival premiere, sitting right behind me and laughing in my ear.
Really?
Yeah, it was incredible. And like I told the director, like afterwards, I was like, Jamie Babbitt, and I was like, oh my God, Roger Ebert was sitting behind me the entire movie, and he was laughing so hard. She was like, no way. And we were like flipping out. And he's
so-
literally, I think, the only critic that gave us a good review.
Really?
And I also think with Rules of Attraction, didn't we also not get super good reviews?
No, Rules of Attraction completely bombed, I think, with reviews. Like,
Yeah, we
when
had
it came out,
terrible
it was
reviews.
terrible reviews. And I think, honestly, like, I think now it has that cult following that people...
It was judged like really wrongly and
Well,
harshly.
Dad told me it is because of the marketing that they did. They marketed as like American Pie, and the movie is not American Pie. It is not like a college
Not by
slapstick
any
date
stretch of the
movie.
imagination.
It's a Bret Easton Ellis book. It is like dark, hardcore. Oh my God, the sequence though, like my favorite sequence of the entire movie. I know the timer went off, but my favorite sequence of the entire movie is towards the very end at the snow, when at first she's like, "You don't know me, no one's gonna know me," and then he
Incredible.
repeats that to Ian, and he's like, "But I want to know you," and it's just, God, and the book is so good. If anyone hasn't read the book, read the book.
The book is so good.
It is
well,
so-
watch the movie too.
Well, yes, and you can do that
I
in any
believe
order.
I believe it's Brett's favorite adaptation still of all
Yeah,
of his books.
well, I know when it came out, it was definitely his favorite one, and I think maybe still, but
Yeah,
and
more
Dad
than
and Brett
American
are,
Psycho,
yeah.
more than...
And Dad has the rights to Glamorama, which he's been
Which
trying to get
I've
going.
read the script like 3 times.
I know, and there's,
It's
like-
so flipping good.
I know, so I'm trying. We're trying to get
make
it
that
going.
movie happen.
I hope it does. If just one day it will, but it takes time.
Yeah,
I know.
That's gotta happen.
You know, it's been at places before, and then just like didn't come together for various reasons.
the
I'll tell
script
you.
is excellent. I've read the book Glamorama, which is freaking great, and the script that your dad did is fucking awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'll say thank you for it because he's not here to say it. He's not at this table.
But they need to make it happen, and I need to be in it still.
I know.
I was gonna play like his assistant or
Well,
something.
I guess you still could. If
Okay,
you really
sure.
want. But
Why
or you
not?
can play a better role than that. You can play
Yeah, I'm happy to play his assistant.
You can play it. You can play. The thing is, like, the script is open, and
I'm a
it's,
character actor. We just do like
do
wherever
what you
they
want.
Well, you go wherever we're called. You know what I
no.
mean?
And also, like, when a role calls to you, it comes to fruition eventually.
Yeah, and I just like doing weird ass shit.
What's
you
the
know?
weirdest role you think you've had?
Weirdest role? I don't know. I just had a weird. I've just had. You know, since growing like the mustache out, it's like
I
I
like
get
the
to play like
mustache.
villains and like
my God, I like
extra like
that.
weird people. So like I just had a movie that was like top 10 on Netflix called The Re-Education of Molly Singer.
Yeah.
Or Molly Singer or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy I played in that was such a fucking weirdo, and I
Yeah.
just like loved it. And he has like, you know, my stash, and I got to play like a villain in Vanquished with Ruby Rose and Morgan Freeman.
That's
the movie
amazing.
is not good, but
You have to be a villain. Is it more fun to play a villain?
but my role's good. I'm
Yeah.
good in it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm happy with it.
So that is all the time that we
Oh
have
my
for
God, I
today.
can't believe we were recording all this.
I know, right? But Joel, is
did I
there
say?
any final
Help.
thought that you would like to share with the audience?
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Follow me on social media. Say hi. Say hi when you're running me in the streets. I love meeting people.
Yeah, say hi and then tell Joel what movie. Because Joel's going to clock
Yeah,
you
I-
and he's going to be like, okay, they like But I'm a Cheerleader, but they like Rules of Attraction. They like this. They like that.
Yeah.
They saw me on Netflix. They did this.
Exactly.
And you're going to know. So
I gotta figure it
you
out.
gotta figure it out. So thank you to my guest, Joel Michaely, for coming on to the show. If you'd like to keep up with Joel, you can do so on his Instagram at Joel Michaely #4 real. And
That's
anywhere else?
true.
Where else do you
I don't
keep
do
up?
anything else.
Just Instagram. Just fabulous on Instagram.
I guess like Facebook. No,
or
I
just
don't
find
know.
him at the New Bev, honestly.
You'll find me at the New Bev.
I'm Gala Avery, and this has been The Gala Show.
Thanks.
The Gala Show is brought to you by Avery.com. This episode was executive produced by Roger Avery and produced by Gala Avery. Music composed by Andy Milburn. As always, I'm your host, Gala Avery. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved. Despite me sharing the same last name with this charity, I don't have any affiliation with it, besides the fact that the issue is very near and dear to my heart. Did you know that in the United States, 2.7 million children currently have a parent in prison, and it's estimated that 10 million children have experienced parental incarceration at some point in their lives? I was one of these kids, and as an adult, I am really grateful to be able to give back to Project Avery. Their mission is to build leadership from within by supporting community through programs such as mentoring and outdoor education, and also to remove the stigma surrounding having a parent that's incarcerated. You don't have to feel alone. If you know a kid who could use these resources or would like to donate money or time to the charity, please go to Project Avery, that's AVARY.org, to check out what this amazing charity is all about. Again, that's projectavery.org. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.